Okay, so next thing, talking about our legs, our lower body when we're in our stance. A lot of different ways that you can have your legs to provide you a good attacking position. For me, I try to have my back foot turned at about a 90-degree angle and my front foot turned in ever so slightly. A great exercise to do is to just do some quick slides back and forth and kind of feel the pressure in your feet. For me, if I turn my front foot too far forwards, when I go in, it's much harder for me to push back. It's my own body. Other people might have a different movement or a different preference, but I like to have my front foot turned in a little bit because it allows me to have a little bit more surface to press back and reverse my movement. My back foot's going to be really the driving foot of this stance, more attack focused, definitely more gyakuzuki focused. Why? Because this foot is turned so that I'm a little bit more square to my opponent than if I was completely in like a box stance, a shikodachi. And this would be more of a kind of the modern Japanese way of doing Kumite. They call it their crab stance. They're almost completely turned sideways. Now, what's the benefit of this stance? Well, by turning my back foot, it enables me to more easily kick and counter with kicks. I'm already in that sort of wedge position I need for a nice long mawashigeri, a good side kick, a good hook kick. All of those things are possible really easily. My front hand becomes much more close to my opponent. As I get more square, it goes further and further away from them. So if I'm in this very, very flat stance, we call it a bladed stance. This would be bladed, this would be square, right? As I'm in this bladed stance, my front arm gets closer, my jab becomes more of my ideal weapon. I can still throw my gyakuzuki, but it's gonna be coming from a longer distance. Just gotta make those trade-offs. What are your weapons? What are you gonna do? What do you like to do? Are you more of a counter fighter? Now, if you're really focused on forward aggression and using your gyakuzuki, you can take up what's called a sprinter stance. I learned this term first from a guy named Casey Mills, great sensei from over in the west side of the mountains in Washington. And he talked about it in regards to Elisa Ao, who's the most successful female Kumite fighter in the United States, three-time world champion. She has her back foot turned relatively near her opponent. It's not turned back, it's actually more like this. And she's got her weight more forwards. This allows for really quick counters, really quick attack, and that's kind of what she based her style on. So we need to figure out, based on our movement, what we like to do, what we should have our stance look like, okay? That takes time, and it takes, honestly, just moving around, okay? So I'm doing a lot of movement and trying out different stances, trying out the benefits of different stances, making sure that you know which one fits you best.